Bonjour à tous, nous vous retrouvons donc aujourd'hui pour le démodé de la cohorte C25. Voilà, après 9 mois de formation intense, remplie de réussites, parfois de moments un peu plus difficiles. Voilà, je voulais adresser un mot à l'ensemble des C25 aujourd'hui pour leur démoder, pour leur dire à quel point nous étions fiers d'eux. Bravo pour votre engagement, pour votre persévérance. Et à titre personnel également, vous adresser un petit mot puisque c'est la première cohorte que j'accompagne du début à la fin. Donc je ne peux vous dire à quel point je suis fière d'eux. Nous sommes fiers de vous. Soyez fiers également. Et sans plus attendre, je vais laisser la parole à Ali et Simon pour le premier projet qui sera présenté intitulé Actual covoiturage. Bon courage les garçons pour la présentation et bravo pour le travail accompli.
Merci. Hello everyone, so welcome to this presentation. I'm glad to present you the projet Mobilité mais actuelle. It's the achievement of 10 months of hard studying. So we can start maybe to present the team. The team is composed of 2 persons. We have Ali Mejnoun, who worked about the backend and also on the DevOps side.
And we have Simon Régnier, who worked as a full stack developer and also a lot on the documentation. So, how did the project start? Well, Actual actually came to us with a problematic. They found out that a lot of their temporary workers were not able to take missions because they have a lack of transport and mobility when they need to. Actually, it's a proven fact that mobility is one of the major social barrier to employment, as a French Travail study showed in 2022. So our goal is to bridge the gap in transportation and mobility and help temporary workers do the work that they can do.
So the solution is the projet Mobilité actuelle, MyActual, sorry. MyActual is the main application from the actual company, and this application can help the temporary worker to manage the mission, etc. And our goal was to create a service for this main application. A simple carpooling app built exclusively for actual workers, for the people who worked as a temporary worker for actual. This application is a trust digital meeting point to connect colleagues each other. And this MVP focus on essential feature and end user. So everything is functional on smartphone, but for the presentation, I will play a video. So on this part, we are connected at the passenger. So you have some information. You have the on the dashboard. You can, going in your personal information, check the phone number, and choose if you are a passenger or a driver. You can validate, and now you are a passenger. You can looking for a trip, and maybe we can pause at this moment. Yeah. So what is interesting here? It's the departure and the arrival is known from MyActual because they know the address of the mission and the address of the home of the temporary worker. And on premise, we made the calculation to find the best trip for a carpooling. For example, Douglas. It's at 0 minutes, so that means it's the beginning of the trip, it's at the same address, and the arrival at the same address. After that, we have France Elizabeth, and they start at 3 minutes of the house, so you need to walk a little bit. And then a third case with Claude, a little bit far.
Sorry, small glitch.
The Bonaldi effect again. So come back to the looking for a trip, and we can have more information if we click on more info. So here we have more information, a commentary also. We can call the driver. So here I don't call because it's a fake number, but we can call, and we can ask to share the trip with a little notification. We have message waiting for validation. And on the dashboard, you have a summary of your your trip, you can cancel. And for example, I will make this trip with France Elizabeth. We have also commentary. And we can send a message to ask to make the trip between. And we have waiting for validation of this trip. And now we have a second video on the driver side. So here we are logged as France Elizabeth Alberton. And as we can see, we can also change information in your info panel. Change the departure time, for example, or arrival time. In this case, I don't validate, it was just for example. And now we have Ada, the previous profile who asked for carpooling, and here another one. And the driver can say, oh, I don't want to continue this trip, so I can cancel. And here, for the demo, I can go to more information and accept or refuse Ada Lovelace in this example. And now it's validated. If we switch to passenger, the database is not hard reset, it's just we don't show the trip again. And if I come back to conductor, driver, I can create a whole trip with commentary, with departure time, and arrival time. And as I say, the database is not hard delete, it's just a way to hide previous trip.
So, in order to make this project, we used different technologies. So the stack that we used was mainly imposed by Actual, as it's what they use for their current application, MyActual. So for the database, we used MySQL. For the front end, we used JavaScript, and for the backend, we used PHP. In order to use these languages, there were frameworks that we had to use. So these frameworks were Laravel and React. We also used some tools for versioning and also for streamlining the project, which were GitHub and Docker, very powerful tools. And we added our personal touch with Postman for the testing, Expo for the demo that you've seen, and OSRM for the mapping. So,
how we're building it? It's a simple version for the non-technical here. So think about this app like a restaurant. We have the backend. It's this place where we cooked the meal and the client didn't see that. After that, we have, next slide please, the waiter. The waiter is our API. API is the goal of the API is to send different message to this different place between the database MySQL, between the routing machine, and between the backend framework Laravel. We have also a dining room. So this is a visible part for the client, for the user. So it's what you see on the demonstration. And this will be done by React. And after that, everything is managed by the maître d'hôtel. And think about that like a huge box with everything inside it and managed by Docker.
So when we built the application, we had some guidelines and some principles that we used. So the client, as we agreed with the client, Actual, it was an API-first design. So we built everything around the API. The goal of this project was to make the backend work as well as possible. We also had to use clean code because this project is going to be passed on to the Actual team, which is going to maintain and make it progress. So as clean as possible, and there's no need to go inside and to do a lot of work to change small variables. Also, as personal goal, we decided to use green code and reduce the strain on the machines as much as possible. And we also built it for the cloud, as it is important that it fits seamlessly into the actual environment, as they are using GCP for the environment. So let's dive in. How we're building it, and the not so simple version. So I selected this this code snippet as it's showcasing how our guiding principle. So as you can see, we used different variables that are in a different config file. We also decided to ask the database to do the calculation for the very strenuous part, that is the geolocalization calculation, the first part. And for the green, you have to trust me as I did some benchmark. And we built it for the cloud, but this is not necessarily visible in this code snippet. If you have more questions on this code, we can come back to it later, as it will be more efficient to ask questions on it.
Then about the project roadmap, this project started in January with the kickoff meeting with actual team. And we made approximately one meeting by month to affine the project, to make the definition of the project, and also to create the first technical documentation and define a MVP, because at the beginning a lot of idea was proposed and we don't have so much time to propose something, so we try to propose something clear to us to be made during this month of coding. Then the phase 2 started in June. It was a real development phase, mainly focused on the backend, and we made a technical step up because we didn't know Laravel and PHP at this time. But at the end of this phase, we have a strong backend with tested with Postman, for example, and that's why in phase 3.
But this is also the phase where we switched our project to GitHub project, and that we started to manage the project more like we didn't use a sprint-based project, but we did a poker planning with different phases.
Exactly.
And then phase 3.
In phase 3, it was the development of the front end and prepare the final presentation to stakeholder. And now, what's the phase 4, the future? We made this presentation this week, previously in the week, to my actual team, and they really enjoyed really the presentation. They congratulate us. And the plan for my actual is to bring our code to watch a little bit the backend more, and after that, manage the team to start really and deploy and making tests with a real user at the beginning of 2026.
So if we have to get a project feedback, technically it was a bit difficult because there was a big learning curve and some problems at the start with learning the new languages, finding the right solutions. We had to learn a whole new technical stack. The only language that we knew at the start was basically MySQL. And it was quite challenging given the time that we had. On the organizational part, the time constraint was the biggest problem. 4 weeks to develop a whole project that could take more time is a bit difficult. And the other big part was working with a real client, as our project is ordered by Actual. It was challenging at the start. The part of defining the MVP, defining the statement of work was a bit difficult. Our key learning, for my part, as I show in this slide, the adaptability and the organization. We adapted at every step of the project to give the best that we could. We adapted to the time constraint, and we were lucky that the actual team was there to support us and adapt with us, and the organization also. So thank you for attending our presentation, where very happy that we had the chance to have an impact on the actual organization. And I want to thank all the Overton team for this year, and also a very big special thank to Stéphane Molano, who supported us during this project.
Exactly.
If you have any question,
thank you so much for your attention.
thank you.
Thank you guys for your presentation. Do we have any question in the audience? Yes?
I wanted to know, because as you said, there was a time constraint. Was it due to having to talk a lot with the client first for like several months to be sure what they wanted and what you could do? So how come it took this long? Is it the usual, way to go about it?
Bien sûr.
So yeah, the time constraint was coming from multiple factors. So the first one was, yes, working with the client. We started in January, and it took almost 6 months to define the MVP with a back and forth meeting. That was, user stories. I mean, the whole definition of that. There was a lot to learn there. But once the project was defined, there was only 1 month to develop and to make it happen. This is okay for a smaller project, I guess, but for this one we had some difficulties because, yes, we took something out of our spectrum, and yeah.
If I can go deeper to answer to your question, it's like when you plan to build a house, you make the blueprints, and after that you build it. And the first month was just to think about the blueprints and not coding at all. But it was useful because if your blueprints is pretty right, normally when you build them, you don't have many surprises. So, did I answer to your question?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for your presentation. You did mention clean code. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Was it for you? How do you define clean code? Did you have any constraints set up by your client? Can you explain a bit more what it meant for you in this project?
Okay, so we didn't really have any order from the client, I mean, any definition from the client to use clean code. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure that they did not expect a lot from us because we're still students, still. But we took the decision ourselves to use that as it's easier to maintain, it's easier to pass this project to someone else. And I can go back to the slide and show you. So here I've decided to not encode a lot directly into the code. As you can see, there's variables that are in the config in a config file that you can directly change to have access to all the parameters that you can change directly in one file, instead of just having to go inside the code, every single file, check it. I think it's easier, it's better for maintaining, it's less depth if there's a change to do, if there's a refactorization, it's easier. That's the idea.
Did at any point during the project you felt like you had to make trade-offs? Like, okay, I have to choose between making the code clean or making the code something else, more green, for example?
So for my part, I had the green part as an example. Not necessarily the clean part, as the clean part is not necessary. I don't think that the clean part is having an impact on the green, but for the green part, yes. I picked OSRM for the geolocalization part. It's an on-premise solution. It's quite demanding, but it was a trade-off that we had to do because we have no money and we could not afford to make a lot of testing and pay for an external API. However, once it's implemented at actual, they can use Grasshopper, which is quite cheap and very green in terms of demand, and uses also the same maps as the OSRM, and that's really cool. GeoFabric is very good with that. And maybe you had a...
I can complete if you want. From my point of view, I know there exist some rules for green and clean code. I participate to some events on Lille and talk with a developer who explains the main principle. And I keep that something in my mind, and for me it was just, I think about that when I'm coding, like common sense. And maybe I need to go deeper in this way, but I didn't follow a strict guideline and block myself with that. But just keep this at like a common sense to don't repeat the loop 10 times or this kind of things.
Okay, more like a mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
More of a mindset.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Any other question?
Is your application GDPR compliant?
So to be honest with you, it should be, but it's not any of our concern, as it's my actual that's actually going to manage all this part. They have a legal team that's taking that into account. We had some conversation with them, but it's more an internal conversation for them than something that we have to care about. We are making a service that's going to plug in to their application, and we should never have a real access to the database and to the data that's confidential and that. So yeah, they are going to make this step. We don't have to manage that.
Okay, thank you. And do you find it's difficult to work on a real client?
It's not about from my point of view, difficult. It's just like that. You can't be on the mind of the people in front of you, and if it's a team, it's more complicated. And so it was difficult, but because it's not the fault of Actual, it's like that because we need to talk a lot to precise things because they are not in my mind, etc. So that's why we made a lot of meetings to be sure about the final result. And that's why we proposed some user stories at the beginning to affine, because maybe we didn't understand the problematic at the same ways. After that, we proposed also flowchart and mockup. And all of this was validated. So as I said before to the previous question, as if the blueprints, if the meeting, we stamp everything like, okay, we do like this, for sure, after that the development is easier, but it's not about, it's difficult to work with a client, it's like that, it's by design, from my point of view.
So we'll add a little bit to that. So yes, speaking with a client is not necessarily difficult, it's the way of working in professional environment. However, there's a small distinction to make. It's when you work with a technical person, it's easy. It's really easy when you work with a technical client. We speak the same language, we have the same constraint. They are going to use our code, so yes, it's great, it's easy. When you're working with non-technical, it's a bit harder. You have to interpret what they say, transform it, change it, have a discussion and back and forth, and it's a bit difficult that way.
And simplify.
Yeah, simplify a lot. And the other part is also that, yes, a real client is also really exciting because the project is going to be concrete and real.
Thank you.
No other question in the audience? Okay, très bien, I will switch in French. Bravo les garçons pour votre présentation, je pense qu'on peut les applaudir une nouvelle fois. Et on se retrouve dans quelques instants pour la présentation du deuxième projet. À tout de suite. On se retrouve donc pour le deuxième projet développé par Stan, intitulé Garmi. C'est un défi qui a été relevé en solo, donc bravo pour ton travail et bon courage pour cette présentation.
Merci. So, hello everyone. Today I will present you my portfolio project that I called Garmi, but let me introduce myself. So, my name is Stan Quenier, I am 24 years old. I realized this project as part at my first years at Alberton School for the cohort C25. It's a solo project and I have a fixed period of time imposed by the school. So let me introduce my project. So personally, I love the world of fashion design, I love the texture, I love the streetwear culture, I love the matching colors, but I literally hate spending time to figuring out how to dress. I looked at what already exists in the market, applications like Steelbook or Closet. They exist, it's true, but all of them are a problem. Sometimes it's ugly, complex, or playing, or all the three at the same time. So it is in this context that Garmi was born, creating a digital wardrobe management application, the simplest, the fastest to use, and especially a free application. And spoiler, let's go. The projects are organized in 4 stages. We have the stage 1, it's the development of my ideas. So that's when I tried to make the action of dressing easier and faster. The stage 2 and the stage 3, it's to create documentation. Stage 2 to define my MVP, and stage 3, it's about technical documentation. And I realized that creating an application was surely the best alternative to meet the needs of internship. So I was inspired by everything that exists to create my documentation. And we are the stage 4, it's the intensive development phase of the MVP. It is a project that took place over 62 days in total. The most important innovation of Garmi. Here I selected the 3 important innovations that I will present to you. First of all, we have the Vision AI. Vision AI, it's an API developed by Apple, and it's implemented and adapted to closing detection in my application. And I use this API for the remove background. It's 100% free, local, and unlimited. Secondly, we have my local architecture in Swift UI. Swift UI, it's the framework when you developed an iOS application. I use a local architecture to have no cloud dependency, to have a high storage limit, because every iPhone today have a big storage limit, and it's total confidentially because all the data stay in your phone. And to conclude with the innovation, we have the Smart Canvas. Smart Canvas is the tool in the application Garmi. It's to create an outfit, and he uses intelligent positioning because he avoids unwanted overlays. It is quick and easy to use. But I know it's easier for you if you see when Garmi takes action. So I open my phone, I start the application. When you start the application, you can see your wardrobe with the 4 main categories. We have top, bottom, shoes, and accessories. Here we have the saved outfit. For now, I just one, and your profile. So now let's add a new items. So you take a picture of your clothes. So here it's my pants. So you take a picture, you remove the background, you give a name. So this is my black pants. You choose the gray categories, so bottom, and you repeat the action for all your new clothes. So same action for the shoes, take a picture, you remove the background. So it's my black derby, like this, and to finish, a top. So it's my white t-shirt, Aimé Léon d'Or. Same processes for all your new clothes. So now let's create a new outfit. So as you can see, I have my new clothes, and now we use the smart canvas. So you can arrange the items anyway. The application will be arrange them intelligently. You save the outfits, and now in tenue, I have a new outfit. So as you could see, with this demo, I opened my phone, discovered the 4 categories of my wardrobe, added 3 new clothes, created an outfit, and all this in 2 minutes. So now that you have seen Garmi in action, let's talk technical. So I used a MVVM pattern for the project structure. MVVM means model, view, and view model. It's very simple. For the data structure, I use model for user, clothes, and outfits. I use view for the user interface, so it's my application. And I use view model to make the link between view and model. I also use extension for some conversion and image resizes. So I have a lot of advantage to use this project structure because now I have a clean and maintainable code. It's easy to extendable for the future. I have access to all the future innovation that will be published on iOS on the other Apple device. And Xcode interface, it's the Apple tool when you develop an application in iOS. It's really designed to produce a quality application and to have an optimized performance. So now let's talk to the Garmi's challenges. So here I selected the 4 main challenges. The first is to integrate free features because I would like to launch a free application. So my response to this challenge is to integrate Vision AI. So Vision AI, it's free because I am an Apple developer and it's free to the user of the application. I use a local data structure because it's free. You don't have to pay for a cloud service. The second challenge is to make a simple application. Each button, each screen has been designed so that anyone can create an outfit in 30 seconds. As you could see, it's possible. The third technical challenge is to adapting Apple's API to the world of fashion because the Vision API detects people, objects, but not especially the clothes. So I had to create a layer of intelligence above. And the last challenge, it's to mastering SwiftUI and the Apple ecosystem because I never used this in my past. So I learned Swift by developing Garmi, learning by doing. What I learned thanks to Garmi. First of all, I learned to manage a complete solo project. So it's my project, my rhythm, total freedom, but also my responsibility. It offers a 360-degree vision of the product and the application, but it also ends badly when you try to do a lot of things at once and in the end you end up doing everything wrong. The second learn, it's the time constraint is not too bad because I don't have time for procrastinate, I don't have time for paralyzing perfectionism. You had to decide quickly. But I have also a disadvantage because the stress is always present and the game of the shortcut can be really dangerous. And if I have to remember a sentence that allowed me the best carryout of this project, it will be better an imperfect MVP that works than a perfect project never finished. Let's start my conclusion to ask where Garmi is today. Today, I have a very good functional MVP, a working application, a strong technical architecture, an intuitive user interface, and a modifiable code base simply to accommodate changes. But I know the application still needs an addition to be complete. So I would like it to be connected iCloud to get a free cloud and native Apple. And this is the goal in the coming days. And to finish, I have imagined 4 phases for the future of the application. Phase 1 is to release Garmi's free application at the end of 2025. The phase 2 is to make Garmi a fashion social network, sharing your outfit, being inspired, and create a community. The phase 3 is to make Garmi a brand platform. So imagine brands will be able to integrate their new collection directly into Garmi, and you could try them with what you already have in your wardrobe. And the last phase is the phase 4. It's to create a complete ecosystem, to have virtual fitting, AI recommendation, and integrate marketplace. So thanks for your attention. And now if you have questions, I can answer them.
So thank you, Stan, for your presentation. Do we have any question in the audience? Yes?
Thank you, Stan. So you mentioned the 4 phases of development for the future.
Yes.
Have you thought of a way to monetize this project if you push it and make it available?
Yes, of course. It is in the phase 3. But if Garmi begin a brand platform, you can monetize when brand release his new collection in the app, so you can make money with that, or with the marketplace too. So you take a percentage of any clothes if you sell it into the application, and yes, that's the last phase for now. Just 3 phases.
Thank you for your presentation. How do you find the name Garmi?
Garmi, it's a shortcut to the English word garment. So it's just a shortcut
Okay.
to the start, garm. I take a little E for...
No, it's nice. It's nice. Thank you.
It's short, it's impactant, and
Yep.
yes, I like the name.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Could you tell us more about how you used Apple's Vision AI to detect clothes? As you said, you had to make it
Yes.
so that it would do that. How did you? Can you tell us more about your process, please?
Okay. So, like I say, in my code, I developed a layer to detect, for example, the floor, because when you take a picture of your clothes, it's regularly on the floor. Like I don't know if you use Vinted, it's the same processes. So to detect a a color in the middle and detect a color outside. And the application, remember the outside color, it's to remove it.
Yeah, thanks. Still technical stuff. I'd like to know more about the intelligent canvas thing. Like you mentioned,
Yes.
the positioning was intelligent. What is it exactly? What makes it intelligent?
Okay, so when you use this tool in my application, so a smart canvas, it's when you create an outfit. So you can make, take your clothes anywhere in the canvas, in the white block on the right. The application understand when you choose the categories. So you know the top is in a little bit in the right side. You know the bottom in the left. You make when you choose the shoes category. You know it's at the bottom of when you save the outfit. So it's smart because he understand when you what type of clothes you drop in the canvas.
Okay. Nice. I have another one then. Are there any missing features you'd like to add before releasing the application?
Yes, I talk this in my conclusion. For the moment, the application doesn't have a cloud, and it's really important today to have a cloud. Imagine just you change the phone, you change your phone, you break your phone. It's really important to have a backup. So now I don't have this backup, and I know it's really important to release the application to have a cloud. And like I say, because I am an Apple developer and I developed an iOS application, connect with iCloud. It's free for the developer, so for me, and free for the iPhone user.
Yeah, thanks.
So thank you, Stan, for your presentation. Merci beaucoup, bravo pour ton travail.
Merci.
Je pense qu'on peut l'applaudir encore une nouvelle fois. Et nous nous retrouvons dans quelques instants pour la présentation du dernier projet. Et nous nous retrouvons pour le troisième projet présenté par Brahim et Gabriel, intitulé French Driver. Les garçons, bravo pour le travail accompli et bon courage pour la présentation.
So, hello everyone. Today I'm very glad to present you French Driver, our project portfolio. It's an online private driver booking platform or a web app that connects people and businesses with professional VTC. So, firstly, I will present myself. So, my name is Gabriel, and during the development, I was responsible of the backend alongside my teammate Brahim.
Hello everyone, I'm Brahim. I did a front-end part of the project. So, for the context, about 6 months ago, a driver friend called me. He was very angry. He said the platform like Uber, Bolt, or each take too much on the ride. He can make his owner prices. He can keep this best customer because he doesn't have historical. So he wants a simple way for a passenger to book a ride, a dashboard to manage everything, and maybe a way for other drivers to join too. That's how French Driver started.
So we analyzed the current market and identified several problems. So on the existing platform like Uber and Bolt, they take too much of commission and take around 25% on each ride. That's too much for the driver. Driver face also an heavy dependence on platform and have limited visibility. There is also a perfectible customer experience that doesn't really exist.
Now, let me present our solution. For the reservation, a customer can book a ride in just a few clicks. For the price, before they confirm, they see a clear price fixed. And for the tracking, they get email update to see their ride status.
For the admin, we got a dashboard that allows them to manage booking, assign driver, and have key performance indicator to optimize operation. Our vision was ambitious but deliverable. It was to deliver a minimum MVP in 4 weeks and to achieve a score user of at least 4 on 5 and implement all essential features like booking, dispatch, and estimation of the price.
During the first week, we have established the foundation, React, Vite, and Tailwind on the front end, Django REST on the back end. We have connected the booking form to the API, added the price estimate, and set up the confirmation email. In the second part, we set up the price engine and dispatch, added a real-time notification, then tested and fixed everything. The MVP was ready by the deadline. This is the Kanban methodology we use. We use for the organization, for the work organization. This is a snapshot of our board in the backlog with approved idea but not yet planned. For example, only payment or dispatching. Ready that tasks that are ready to code. In progress, it's a task in progress. In review, it's a code down, just waiting for quality checks, and down is a code down finish. So for the technology stack, for the front end, we use JavaScript React, the most popular combo had or change a screen in a minute. Tailwind for clean design without spending time writing CSS. Vite, a server start in 1 second. We see change instantaneously.
So for the backend, we choose Python with Django framework for its rapid development capabilities. For the database, we choose MySQL for its reliabilities, performance, complex queries, and its good integration with Django. For the tool, we use GitHub and Slack for team communication and project coordination. And for the external API, we use Gmail SMTP for notification, Telegram for driver assignment and notification, OpenStreetMap and OpenStreetMap routing for the routing and mapping and the route calculation. So there it is our architecture. The user access to our front via web browser like Safari, Chrome, and Firefox. Our front end is like the windows of our app. It's built in front in a React Invite. It connects it to OpenStreetMap. Then the front end access to our backend, which handle all the business logic like calculate the price, estimate distance, and all things like that. That backend is connected to our database MySQL, which handles the data, and the backend is also communicating with Gmail and SMTP and Telegram API.
Imagine you booking a ride. Our system quickly gives you a fair estimate. So how it works? The calculate price method does all the price math. First, it calculates the distance between two GPS points. It estimates the trip time using an arrival speed of 30 kilometers per hour. It applies the pricing rules based for price per kilometer and price per minute. It returns a structural result with the distance, estimate time, and the final price.
So we are going to show you how our MVP works. So this is our front. We are on the admin side. That's the client side. We can tap in the pickup address and the departure address. We can choose the vehicle, and we can choose if you want to leave now or later. So we got the estimation of the price and the distance. We can read booking. When the booking is done, the side of admin will receive it. It is in pending, so the admin confirm it. When it's confirmed, he assigns a driver. He chooses the driver. When the driver is assigned, he receives a notification in email and Telegram with this button. That's done. And then we can start the ride and then finish it. So it completed on the two sides.
Three simple metrics. For the user story, all must have are functional. For the test, every endpoint gave a 200 OK with the right data. And for the satisfaction, we had our solution tested locally, and the results were that we want.
So our strength was to stay true to our plain Moscow prioritization to validate our user experience. The challenge we encountered were implementing Gmail SMTP we got a setup Tailwind CSS problem that cost us a lot of development time, and we got some issue with the collaboration. So we identified as improvement axis to improve coordination and visibility and to have a better time management. To conclude, we deliver a functional MVP in just 4 weeks. We got 9 on 9 must-have features delivered: booking, estimation, email, dashboard dispatch, and more is to come.
For the next step, make the app work perfectly on the smartphone, so book is easy for customer. Add only payment, plugin strips so customer pay when they book and driver get paid automatically, and is automate dispatch, swap manual assignment for an algorithm that finds the nearest every driver in real time. It's the end. Thank you, everyone. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, guys, for your presentation. Do we have any question in the audience? Okay.
I have to ask questions. Thank you for presentation. One of my favorite topics is unit testing. You're the first team to mention them. I saw them on your Kanban board, and also you mentioned your 100% test coverage. Can you tell us more about the unit test approach that you took? What are they about? What did you test? What framework did you use?
Sorry. For after we make the test unit now, we are testing with curl or postman, but for the after we test the test uniter, test of charge of capacity.
Okay, so if I need to nitpick, it'd be more like integration testing than unit testing. Is that right?
Can you repeat?
I mean, what I understood is that you mostly tested the application as a whole, making curl requests and trying it out. So it's more like integration testing than unit testing?
It's more integration testing than unit test, but unit tests are planned for later.
Okay, then a follow-up question then. How did you come to the 100% test coverage then? Does it mean that you ran manually through all the tests and they all passed? What does the 100% mean?
This is a test for the functionality of well, yes, for the MVP. We tested the user story.
Okay, everything was working.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. I still have the mic, though. I'm going to continue. What about the user experience score? How do you measure the user experience? Why is it just 4.3 and not 5, for example?
This is I testing the solution of. Je peux le faire en français, je peux le prendre. Sorry. Alors, en gros, j'ai fait tester la solution soit des personnes lambda, ouais, des gens du métier. Après, j'aurais donné un questionnaire Google Form pour voir ce qu'ils en pensaient. Et en gros, c'est le résultat que ça a donné. On devait atteindre au moins 4,5, enfin 4 sur 5, 4,3, donc it's good.
Et combien de personnes? Du coup, l'échantillon de
alors, 8 pour les personnes random, lambda, et 5 pour les professionnels. Ça, c'était plus compliqué.
Merci.
Alors, merci pour votre présentation. Et donc, je voulais savoir si votre app respecte les RGPD.
The app is not still compliant with RGPD. We still don't manage yet, but it's planned also.
Ok, comment vous feriez pour que ça les respecte?
To add some option to delete the data of client or driver.
Merci.
Thank you for your presentation. So you started the project because a driver you knew talked about what was wrong with the other apps. How about the people who need a driver? Do you have any specific things you want to implement for them, for just people who need the driver, or are you really set on making the app for the drivers and not as much for the users?
It's more around the driver and started also on that because the traditional platform take too much commission and it's for them. So they have more money from the right.
Okay, thank you.
Merci les garçons pour votre présentation. Je pense qu'on peut les applaudir également encore une nouvelle fois. Bravo. Voilà, donc un grand merci à Gabriel et Brahim pour la présentation de leur projet. Merci également à toutes les personnes qui étaient présentes sur place et à distance d'avoir suivi avec attention ces démodés. Je tiens à adresser une nouvelle fois mes félicitations à la cohorte 25 pour leur travail et pour leur engagement. Bravo pour la présentation de vos projets. Je vous souhaite à tous une excellente après-midi et à très bientôt pour les prochains démodés.